So this is 40K Little Mermaid back with part 2 of Little Mermaid-ing Up Your Night. And if I hit the button here, I now have the LEDs working inside the night. I'm going to pull them apart here and go through what we did. Now I have not put any of the armor on other than the top that I magnetized on, because when painting, since the undercarriage is a different color than the armor, and I do most of it with an airbrush, I don't want to have to be trying to get up and underneath all the armor plates. So I'm gonna disassemble it and get it ready for painting. So we'll shut this off and take a look. Now in the last video I showed everybody what I did up top here, and I've gone through and set these clips to make it easier to pull everything apart, and getting the battery out as well. Now I did not, or I put electrical tape on the battery here, because between the connector here and the positive negative terminals, it was bumping up, getting a little in here, and I was starting to burn out the battery, and didn't kind of want to leak battery acid all over the inside of my model. Coming on the inside, of course, can't really see in there very well, but I've got all the cords in here. Everything snaps together. This comes from a lesson learned from when I did my riptide. Basically, I soldered all the wired connectors together, and everything was great until moving it back and forth between the shop and to my gaming group. One of the solders came apart, and now my riptide doesn't light up anymore, and there's really nothing I can do about it aside from cutting the model apart. It sucks, but hey, I learned my lesson for this one. So one of the key things that I wanted everything in this model or all of the LEDs to be able to be removed and replaced. Now it's going to be difficult on the head, obviously, and I drilled through the back here like I said I was going to. So on this connector, even though I got a snapper underneath this electrical cord here, I've just got the wires wrapped together so that if I do need to replace the LEDs, then I can just take the tape off, unwind it, and everything's good to go. And to get my LEDs out, all I have to do, since the head is magnetized here, is grab a hold of these LEDs with a pair of pliers and pull them out. Now I've got them set, and I don't want to do that now, but you can use your imagination on how all that comes apart. Yeah, as I said, I've got them in pieces for painting. And let's see if we can get the arm off here. Looks like I got a bad solder on that piece there. Now there's going to be much easier ways to make this work. This piece isn't glued yet, I just forgot to do that. So drilled a hole through the top here to run the wires, and drilled a hole in the side here. Originally I just cut 1/4-inch holes, and that was fine for pushing the circle connectors through, but then I put the female connectors on there, and I needed to make it wider. The top here, when it is in place, completely covers up the holes that I cut, so you don't have to worry about having something showing through your model. And these pieces will be glued together. I've got nothing but wire that's running through this shoulder piece here, so I'm not worried about this one dying on me like my riptide. So what I did was I drilled a hole in the portion of this that's going to be facing the shoulder, which brought me down into the middle here, and then I drilled another hole up through the bottom, and then just fed my wire through, and everything was good to go there. I did find that there's probably a much better way to put these together afterwards, but this will work for now, and I got to use blue tack because my magnets aren't strong enough. come off too. Alright, so coming in through the shoulder joint, we then pass into the body of, I guess this would be the upper arm. So I just push the wires on either side, fit them, and then put the other half on here. And my wires come in here. Now I wanted to have male and female couplers in here, but they don't fit inside the body, so I've just got the wires twisted onto the male ends here. And that does good enough. I've got a magnet in the center here. Actually, these pieces are magnetized on either side, which is a waste. When you're doing yours, as long as you get these in the right position, you can just glue this piece onto these different halves and then just set a magnet in here. I mean, I set magnets out on the side. I'm trying to get it to fit right, and it just isn't. Oh well, life goes on. It'll be close enough, and I'm pretty sure with it lighting up, no one will really fuss about that. So yeah, when you do yours, and also the end cap here, I have it glued on one side but not on the other. That way when they snap back together, it still looks right, and I just shave this end down a little bit. Again, with the blue tack on the inside here, because I want to be able to remove these LEDs in case one of them burns out. And it's not a, I mean, I don't want it to be too easy, but of course, alright, there we go. So I get my LEDs out so that if these LEDs burn out, I can just replace them. Now in the front of this piece here, I've set 3 magnets. Now for the multi-melt, just dry fitting or with no electronics, the magnets are more than enough to hold it in place. However, with the wires putting a little bit of negative pressure, it just doesn't quite work. And the reason the magnets are set like that is so that when I get this, whatever the big cannon piece is, whenever I get this one all set up, it's going to magnetize on. We'll probably also have to have blue tack because the wires don't want to work with me. And if I remove a bunch of wire so that there's no tension pushing forward, then I'm not going to have enough playroom to whittle the pieces around. And I haven't done it yet on this side because I don't think I'll be using this weapon, but where I glued this one together and I can push the LEDs in from the back on the big cannon here, if I set the LED in the back because of these little dimples for gluing it together, I'm not going to get a beam coming all the way out here the way I want it to. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to set the LED in the very front here, which is fine. It has room. I'm just going to have to run wires back, and then I'm going to have to add in some resistors because I'll be running one LED instead of 2 LEDs. Other than that, that's pretty much everything I can think of for what I did on putting this guy together. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments below, and I will get to them when I have a chance. Have a good one.